and welcome into Rebecca K Crochet. I'm Becky, your yarn host, and today what we are going to do is this Modern Granny square. I have a Modern Granny rectangle up and didn't realize that I didn't have a Modern Granny square up, so I wanted to show you how to do that. What I'm using is just a scrap of yarn, just a scrap yarn cake. You can do this with anything. If you want to make a great big blanket, you can. And then I have this, I think this is Red Heart Super Saver. It is 144 yards. This is also a scrap. It's a 4-weight, calls for a 5.5 millimeter hook. The colorway is Bikini. I've used this before on the channel. I made some other stuff with it. You will also need a 6 millimeter J10 US J10 6 millimeter hook. I use my Susan Bates. I use the 6 millimeter. You can use a 5.5 if that's what you do. I crochet tight, so I need to go up 1 or 2 sizes. You'll also need a needle and a pair of scissors. So with that, let's get started and I'll show you how to make this stitch. Like I said, this would make a really pretty bag. It would make a really pretty blanket. I've made several blankets out of this stitch with just 2 different colors. It makes a really pretty, it would make a really pretty, actually a really pretty like a cover up or a blouse, sweater, whatever you want to call it. It would make really pretty. You could do chain 3s instead of chain 2s in here and it would be looser. So with that, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification and we'll get started with the tutorial. Okay, this is the second time I have tried to film this. I have been interrupted by lots of things, so we're going to try it again. And then I didn't like the way it was looking, so I tore it out. So we're going to chain 4. We're going to start with a slip knot on our hook and then chain 4, and then we are going to go back in that first stitch and do a single crochet after we put our finger in the middle so we know where we start. We're going to chain 2, and then we are going to do 2 more double crochets. And here we go again. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go back down in there into the circle, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here again. Chain 1, 3 more double crochets. I'm working over my tail. And chain 1 and 3 more double crochets. Now this is going to be the start of the granny square. This is how you start most of your granny squares. Now instead of chain 1, I am going to single crochet into the top, but I'm going to pull up 2 loops, and then I'm going to grab my other yarn, if I can find out where it's at. As you can tell, I've got a mess over here. Hold on. Okay, so slip knot on your hook. However you make a slip knot is fine. And then you pull it through. You don't have to do the slip knot. I prefer the slip knot. I think it makes it a little bit more secure. So now this is your corner. This is where you're going to start with your corner. So you're going to chain 1. And that doesn't count as a stitch. And then you're going to go back in with a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 2. You're going to go over here with a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in this corner. Then you're going to chain 2. And you're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in this corner, chain 2. And the reason I'm chaining 2 is if you chain 3, it's going to give you a bigger gap. And we're just going to repeat the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet all the way around. And I preferred not to have that big gap. That's what I didn't like, and I took it all out. Because when I was looking at it, I was like, I really don't like this. Okay, so I'm at my corner. I single crocheted. I'm at where I started. And how I'm going to finish this off is I am going to do a half double crochet in the top of this stitch. But I'm going to change to my white, so I'm going to bring the white up. That's why I didn't cut it off. You can cut this and sew in ends. I prefer not to sew in ends. So I'm going to bring up my white, do the half double crochet. I'll snug this down just a little bit. And that half double crochet is going to put us in the middle of our corner. We're going to chain 2, go back in with 2 more double crochets. We're not going to chain, and we're going to work into this chain space right here that we did the chain 2 space that's on top of our cluster right there. We're going to work into that chain 2 space. We're not going in the spaces in between. We're going to work into that space, and we're going to do 3 double crochets into that chain space. We're not chaining except for the corners. So now we're going to go into our corner, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. Chain 2. You can do a chain 1 there as well. 3 double crochets. I'm looking at this to see if I think it's going to be too big. Yeah, I think I'm going to go down to a chain 1. We're going to chain 1 and then do 3 more double crochets. We're not going to chain, and we're just going to go right in here and do 3 double crochets to our next chain 2 space. Corner, we're going to 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 more double crochets, three double crochets in the next chain space, three double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the corner space. There's 3, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. If you don't know how to do a double crochet, a chain, a half double crochet, any of that, I show you that on another video that I have, so you feel free to go back and watch that video. It's in my stitch tutorial library playlist. We didn't skip, and we're doing chain 3. Now we're going to go back over here, and this is our corner where we started. We have 3 double crochets here. We're going to have to put 3 double crochets here. Now I'm going to go in with a half double crochet, but I'm going to change my color. So I pull up 3 loops on my hook. I go back here and I pick up that stitch or that yarn, and I pull through all 3 loops. I tighten this, snug it down just a little bit. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to go back in there and do a single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to go into this next space from my cluster, and I'm going to do a single crochet, chain 2, go into the next space and do a single crochet, chain 2, go into my corner and do a single crochet, chain 2, chain 1, no, 2 on this row, single crochet because we're just got chains there, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, skip over to the next stitch and do a single crochet in the next space, chain 2. We are at our corner again, so we are going to single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet back into the corner space, chain 2, single crochet in the next space, chain 2, skip over to the next space and single crochet, chain 2, go into our corner space, and we are going to single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the corner space, chain 2, single crochet in the next space, chain 2, single crochet in the next space, chain 2. Okay, so we are at our beginning corner, so we're going to single crochet. We are not going to chain, and we are going to do a half double crochet in the top of the single crochet, changing to our white or whatever your main color is. Pull this color snug, chain 3, and you repeat that all the way around. And that is how you do this square, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go a couple more rounds, and if you need to, go back and watch this round. You repeat this round and this round, the white round and the colored round, and that's how you do this square. And I'll be back as soon as I make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, whenever you are at your final round, what you want to do is you want to chain 1. Whoops, I've got to go over here and do my last cluster here. On chain 3 or 3 double crochets. I can't even think right now. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go on the top, and we're going to fasten this off. And all that is doing a slip stitch there, and then we're going to slip stitch again. We're going to cut our work, pull it through, fasten it off. We're going to come back here. We are going to cut our work back here, and then we're going to cut it long enough that you can weave in your ends, and then we're going to weave in our ends at the end. And just a little information for you on this stitch. The reason in our corners that we do a chain 1 with the white and a chain 2 with the multicolored, or the one that we're doing a single crochet and we always do the chain 2 between, is because we have 6 in our corner of the white stitch, or your main color. You'll have 6 in the corner of the double crochets, but down here in the white you're only going to have 2 single crochets, so you can get away with only 1 chain in between, which will makes your holes a whole lot smaller, and it makes, with chain 2 here in this space, it makes this space right here a lot smaller versus a chain 3. I tried it with a chain 3 and I just thought the gaps were way too big, so I like the chain 2 better. You can do chain 3 if you would like, but straighten it out a little bit. I've been pulling and tugging on it. But that is what your modern granny square looks like. I hope you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. And if you want to know how to do a modern granny rectangle, that is also on my channel. I just didn't realize that I had not put at the modern granny square up, and this is also known as, if you do it in a line, this is the block stitch, and I think I have that one up on my channel as well. So if you want to know how to do it in a line where you just go row by row, this is the block stitch. This is also called a modern granny square because it's done in the square, and then there's a modern granny rectangle up on my channel as well. If I remember, I will try to link those videos below, but I may not remember that, so you can always go in my playlist and look at the granny squares because they'll be in there, or the stitch of the week will have it. or my washcloths of the week will have it also. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.